You know, people ask me all the time, Moose, do you like any card games? Let's just say I love them, in my own special little way. And here lately I've been giving Blizzard's Hearthstone a try. If you haven't played it yet, here's a quick overview of what to expect after a month or so with the game. The story follows Jaina Proudmoore as she explodes from a deck of cards ready to take on some of Azeroth's worst enemies: Hogger, Manastorm, Mukla, Nessingwary, and Illidan. These first few fights serve as the tutorial to the dynamics of the game, with each battle bringing you different helpful tips and tricks to playing the game online against people. The characters also don't take themselves very seriously, and it's kind of fun to imagine Illidan the Betrayer sitting down to a nice quiet card game with Jaina while screaming about how she's not prepared. An expansion for Hearthstone is set to release later this year and promises to actually flesh out the storyline campaign a little bit better. But right now there's not much story to it. You just have to grab your deck and start playing. After you select your hero, you move into an arena modeled after areas of Azeroth, and you and your opponent, whatever hero they might be, begin playing. You go turn for turn using your mana crystals, which increase by 1 per turn, to play creatures, spells, or hero abilities. When you use a hero ability that costs 2 mana, you lose 2 mana crystals for the turn. So the game comes down to how you manage your cards and how you manage your mana versus your opponent. The only way to win is by dropping your opponent's health to 0 while keeping yours above 0. If your opponent no longer has cards to play, they continue to draw, each turn accruing more and more damage by fatigue until their health drops to 0. It's a fun back and forth, though I always guarantee that no matter how balanced your 30-card deck is, there will come a day when you will never draw any of the cards by sheer random chance, and it's a very frustrating experience because you know the deck can perform better. Hearthstone relies quite heavily on this random chance element, and there's only 1 or 2 cards which will specifically seek other cards, so regardless of what your idea behind a deck is, it's always best to make sure you have a balanced deck that will perform adequately under most conditions. However, this is also where the game gets frustrating. There's a horrible wall for players approaching this game. Hearthstone is a free-to-play card game, but that's not to say people do not spend money on it. So far, I've not spent a single cent, and after a month I find myself with absolutely no legendary cards. These cards provide a huge advantage to the people who play them, but acquiring a legendary card through conventional means by buying 1 expert pack per 100 gold is... it sucks. It sucks hard. To those who just want to throw money at the cards and see what you get, Hearthstone offers payment options where you can purchase a bulk load of cards for cash. The prices are on the screen and will greatly affect the chances of you gaining a legendary card or possibly 2. If you're hoping to play without paying like me, then good luck. If you get a legendary card with your first pack, I fucking hate you. At the very start of when I began Hearthstone, it was exciting to me. I love card games and I love testing new systems, but after a couple of weeks the testing turned into a complete and total understanding of the game. The surprises were gone in the end, and it just doesn't have the depth that something like Magic has, where you go into a match never knowing what your opponent may be playing. I go into every Hearthstone match now saying, oh, it's a Paladin. Okay, well he's running 2 True Silver Champions, 2 Consecrates, 2 Hammer of Wraths, and after a few turns you identify out more and more cards about his build, until the point where you know it line for line pretty much. The surprise is gone for me, and the unpredictability is gone, and it's turned into something routine and mundane, which I absolutely despise. I'll continue playing the game, hoping that the new expansion adds an entirely new dynamic to it, but until that day I get to be bored out of my tits by facing the same druid deck build for the 10th time that day. With that being said, Challenge me, you fuckers. I'll let this guy from Game of Thrones explain what'll happen if you face me in Hearthstone.
I'm gonna fuck you into the dirt. Not me!